Hi folks, and welcome to another edition of Jstfish Outdoors Web TV. We've got a really good show lined up for you this week. I've just returned from a few days down on Lake Fork fishing, and we were doing some hog hunting with a good friend of mine, Randy Claiborne, and we were pretty successful. We kind of really whacked them there a couple of nights pretty good. We'll show you some footage of that. This is probably going to be maybe a 2 or 3 part weekly video that I'm going to do, because we shot a lot of video while we were down there. We were catching a lot of fish, so it may be a 3-parter by the time we get it all up and running here. But we're going to show you that footage along with some tips and tricks for fishing Lake Fork. We also have our regular fishing reports from Steve Carroll and also Dave Clark, so stick around. It's going to be a good show, and we'll catch you later. Welcome back, folks. First up on the fishing report is going to be Steve Carroll from Weekend Duty Guide Service. And let's listen to see what Steve has to say about fishing conditions around our area.
Hey, good morning. This is Steve Carroll, Weekend Duty Guide Service. Wanted to take a minute here this morning and do my weekly fishing report. We're up here at Skytook this morning. We've been having pretty good luck on Skytook, dead sticking jigs in about 30 to 40 feet of water. The fish are suspended, but there's a good amount of bait up here. The fish are pretty active. The water temp's 52 degrees, and it's really kind of started pretty good on Skytook. I've got Tater with me this morning. I think you can probably see her walking around in the background. I got my good friend Mike Comita came up this morning to try and catch a few of these hybrids. We're wanting to have some fish for dinner this weekend. So it's Thursday morning, and weekend's looking like it might be a little stormy on Saturday, rainy, but temps are nice. It's pretty nice this morning. Got a little south breeze, but not bad at all. Let's go on and talk about some other things going on in the area. The upper Arkansas River above Keystone, we went up there last week in the jet boat, and unfortunately we ended up getting stuck on the island on one of the sandbars up there and didn't get to fish. But what's going on up there is they finally stopped running water out of Caw, but there was a real good current up there for about 2 weeks, and in fact there was too much water. So the fish were really scattered out. They've cut the water off. The flow's down to about 1,000 CFS coming out of Caw right now and down the river. The stream gauge at Ralston's down about another foot. So the fish are up there, and the conditions are ideal right now, because now those deeper pools are kind of isolated and the fish are concentrated in those. So there's some real good spoonbill action up there on the Arkansas River up above Keystone Lake. We've got the jet boat. We can get you up there. It's not unusual at all to stick a 100-pound spoonbill up there. Most of the fish are 50-pound plus fish. So that's a pretty fun day. You'll find it pretty strenuous, but some really big fish for Oklahoma. Around the rest of the area, getting good reports from Oologah. Catfish bite up there is real good on cut shad. The sand bass are starting to run over on the upper end of Fort Gibson. Guys are getting good catches of sand bass over there, along with a lot of spoonbill. There's a lot of snagging going on over there on the upper end of Fort Gibson, around Maisie Landing there. You can put in and probably go down the lake a little bit, find those fish on the sonar. Other lakes, Keystone itself is doing good with striped bass suspended in the creek channels out there on live shad. The water was a little bit muddy, but it's clearing up now. Let's see. I think that about wraps it up for this week. That's all the reports I've got that are current and fresh. but the timing is right now to get out. I got off the spot there a little bit. I'm going to move the boat around here just a little bit and try and get us back in the river channel on these fish. So I wanted to get that out this week. Hope you can get out. Springtime is on us. Trees are budding out. The grass is getting green. I was thinking about getting my lawnmower out and starting it the other day, but decided to come up here instead. So that's what I usually do. So anyway, for me and Tater and my friend Mike Comita, hope to see you out this weekend.
Thanks, Steve, for that very informative report. We'll catch Steve next week, I'm sure. He's out all the time checking conditions and fishing, so I'm sure we'll have a pretty good report from him next week as well. Next up is going to be Dave Clark from Fish On Guide Service. Let's listen to what Dave has to say.
Well, this is David Clark, this week's fishing report. Keystone Lake is producing some scattered stripers. The water muddied up out there because of some inflow. Water's coming in, muddied everything else, made it up real well. There are a few stripers being caught though, but they're real scattered. Like Blackwell's producing some hybrid stripers yet, still in 15, 20 foot of water, live bait, and some on artificials. Center Lake, the only report I got from there was the green perch are going pretty good. Guys going over there are catching some nice green perch. Skytook Lake is about like it's been in the past few weeks. Some catching them in deep water in about 40 foot on slabs, some up to shallow on artificials and live bait. Hooligan and Spavinaw, didn't get any reports from there. I saw one report where they've been catching some nice crappie up on Grand Lake. I've been spending my time and will be for the next couple of weeks over on the upper end of Fort Gibson, snagging and doing some combination trips, snagging for the spoonbill and sand bass or catfish. This weekend I've got a little bit of both, and they're all going pretty good. Spoonbills seem to be there. Every now and then you'll get into a good school. Our biggest this past week was right at 60 pounds. We had several in that category, and we'll see how it goes the rest of the week. There's getting to be more and more boat traffic. It gets crowded when there's a lot of wind blowing. Anyway, this is David Clark. You can reach me at fishonok.com or my Facebook page at fishon, or you can call me at 724-6786.
Thanks, Dave, for that up-to-date report. That's Dave Clark, Fish On Guide Service. And now we're going to take you down to Lake Fork. Like I said, me and Randy Claiborne were down there just a few days ago. And just ahead of that cold front that come whistling Dixie down from the north and kind of messed the fishing up big time. But we were fortunate enough to have a couple of days prior to the front showing up down there and just really whacked the fish good. Boy, it was just a banner time. We were having a good time down on Lake Fork. So let's watch a little video that we shot down there, and then I'll be back and talk a little bit about what's going on around here and down there as well. Hi folks, Dale York, Jstfish Outdoors, and I'm with my best friend Randy Claiborne of Lake Fork Texas Spots app. Randy, how you doing? And great. Like I said, we're down on Lake Fork in East Texas. It's March 8th, 2017, and we're having a pretty decent night tonight. We've caught several fish. We'll show you a couple of them here in a minute. The conditions are perfect tonight. We're looking at, what, Randy, 62 water temp, something like that?
61, 62 degrees.
The lake is really stable. It's in really good condition. You know, one of the best things that we can give you, one of the best points, is everything seems to be about a month early this year, doesn't it, Randy? You know, I don't think we've ever seen water temperatures this high this early in the year. It's just been a phenomenal year.
Yeah, everything seems to be a little bit ahead. It almost feels like it's the end of March right now, and it's the 1st of March, so it's odd right now, but yeah, it's just warmed up faster this year.
Yeah, you know, we were talking about this earlier, you know, in our coming up on 30 years experience on Lake Fork, and we just can't remember ever seeing a spring like this.
Yeah, everything's greened up down here, and watercolor looks real good down here. This is our first night, and we've already got about 5 fish in the boat. been a good night so far. You had that one monster on, and we got off, and but yeah, so far it's been a pretty good night.
Yeah. Well, let's dig a couple out of the live well that we kept to show you guys, and we'll show you a little bit what our night has been so far. If we can catch them, that's probably what, Randy, a 4-pounder, something like that. You know, just the typical Lake Fork fish. You'll catch a lot of them that size.
Yeah.
Just a beautiful, beautiful shape, great fish, and you know, we've caught several of them tonight that size right there, just to kind of get our whistles wet, so to speak. Yeah. We're hog hunting, but you know, in the process of doing our nighttime big bass hunting, you know, we'll catch several of those in the course of a night.
I'll let this one go.
And you know, we've got one more to show you that's so far tonight is our big fish of the night, and Brandy can get that one out of there. We'll show that to you folks.
She ain't happy. He is not happy.
She's not a happy camper.
Hang on, girl.
She's been a mean fish.
Oh, well. Yeah. She's a good one.
This fish here weighed almost 10 pounds, and we've had a couple on like that tonight. This is the only one we've managed to put in the boat so far, but so far it's been a pretty good night. You know, this lake is just full of nice fish, and you know, our most productive time to fish for these big fish is definitely at night. So you know, we highly recommend if you guys have the opportunity and want to really have a good shot at catching a trophy fish, you know, nighttime is just, in our opinion, probably the best time to fish for big fish that there is. We catch more large fish at night than you know, we ever could during the day. It's just a wonderful time of year to fish, and a wonderful time to fish at night. Don't you agree, Randy?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, sure do.
One of the things we wanted to share with you folks, you know, there's some tips and tactics that we use specifically to target these big fish. And one of the most critical things that is in our arsenal is the baits that we use. You know, probably 99.9% of the time, we're throwing a jig. Right. You know, that's has produced so many big fish for us over the years that, you know, that's just the bait of choice. And, you know, several different colors. Randy prefers black and blue.
Yeah, that Lockhart.
Randy prefers a Lockhart. I'm throwing a new jig that's made by Timmy Tom's, and it's a prototype that he's come out with, and I like that jig real well too. And we both agree and have for years that our trailer of choice is a Gene LaRue hog crawl. You know, when you go after these big fish, you want to be using a big profile bait. And you know, these big fish eat big baits. So you know, think about that. If you're coming to Lake Fork and you need a little help and you need a little information to help you along, go to Randy Claiborne's website. It's Lake Fork, Texas Spots. And what he's developed and designed is an app specifically to help people coming to Lake Fork. You can go buy the app, get several places, GPS coordinates to download, to come right to some of the places we fish, and it's just a really, really great asset to have, especially if you're new to Lake Fork or you've never been on Lake Fork.
Right.
Also, you can jump on my Facebook page or my website, Jstfish Outdoors, and you can drop Randy a line or me, either one, if you have a question about Lake Fork, and we'll be more than happy to try to help you out. So hopefully we'll have some more video we shoot tonight, and we'll chain this along with this week's edition of Just Fish Outdoors. And you know, like I said, if there's anything we can do to help, don't hesitate to drop us a line. Anything you'd like to add, Randy?
No, I think you covered it all. It's really an unusual March for 2017. February was awesome. January was awesome. And right now it's starting off that March is pretty awesome itself. And so if you like to catch big bass, I highly recommend you get down and do some night bass fishing and try that out. And there's a lot less pressure in the night than it is in the day. And you know, it kind of improves your odds of catching a big fish down here if you ever come. And it's a great time. Looks like it's going to be a really good year. I bet you we're going to see a lot of big fish caught in the next couple of weeks, and because everything's just right.
You know, it's just getting ready to bust loose down
It is.
here. I mean, it's
to
right there, getting ready to crank up. And you know, if you guys can get the opportunity to get away and come down here in the next couple of weeks, you're going to stand a pretty good shot at catching a pretty good sized fish. That's for sure.
Yes, you are.
So once again, this is Dale York, Randy Claiborne, and Just Fish Outdoors saying, we'll catch you later. And that'll just about wrap it up for this week's show, folks. Like I said, stick around for next week's show. You know, you can find us on YouTube, Just Fish Outdoors, or Dale York. Also find us on Facebook. Like us on Facebook, Just Fish Outdoors. You know, we're posting pics, posting videos, posting tips. You know, I do a lot of Lowrance tips that I post on not only YouTube but also on my Facebook page. So, you know, go there, give us a like, and you know, as always, if you have a question or anything we can do to help you along, feel free to drop us a line here at Just Fish Outdoors, and we'll be more than happy to try to answer your questions. So until next week, this is Dale York for Just Fish Outdoors TV saying, we'll catch you later.